Hello and welcome back to my channel. Bonsoir et re-bienvenue sur ma chaîne. My name is Muriel, and in this video I'm going to be doing something a little different. I noticed that a fair few of you seem to have enjoyed my big bad book unhaul, so given that, and given that I am actually quite happy with it, I decided I'd be doing another video showcasing some books without necessarily talking that much about their contents, because I recently, I mean a few months ago, I decided to start a carefully curated collection of special editions of some of my favorite novels, or at least books that have been important to me for various different reasons, like, childhood favorites, things like that. I now have a few of them in my collection. I'm going to show them off because I want to revel in their magnificence with you, but then also take the time and opportunity to, talk about their quality, and, whether or not I would recommend you purchase them if you want to do something similar to me. Because I do have a couple Folio Society editions in there. So yeah, a little showcase and review of special editions / fancy hardback editions along those lines. So first I'm going to talk about the cheapest members of my new collection, which is a very sad way of putting it. Basically, they're both nice hardback editions of some of my favorite novels. They're not illustrated or anything like that, but they look nice. They're hardbacks, and they're part of my collection. So I found this hardback, somewhat fancy edition of Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. It's fairly straightforward, has, nice little red spine cut out with illustration, and it's a hardback because I wanted one because Lolita is one of my favorite novels of all time. I know for a fact that Folio Society had their own version of Lolita a few years back, illustrated, leather-bound, or leather-bound, I don't know. It looked ridiculously gorgeous, and it's not available anymore. If I want one, I'll have to buy one second-hand for about 500 quid. I do not have that money on hand, so I'm sad. So I have this instead. But Folio Society is watching. They're obviously not, but please make another one, because I'll buy it immediately. So please, or anyone else, a fancy illustrated, not of the bad bits, obviously. Do I even need to say this? But I'm happy with this, don't get me wrong, but something even fancier. I'll spend the money for it. And I also have this lovely hardback edition of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is by Vintage. It's a vintage editions. Actually, my original paperback up there is also vintage. I often really enjoyed their cover artwork. So they did this really nice hardback with red pages, and I really love the illustration, and inside it's like this. It was I don't know, 20 quid, not even that. It was 16 euros, I don't know. It looks really nice. For that price, it's a really freaking nice hardback, and so I'm happy I have it. Now we're moving up a step. So I got for Christmas this, the complete Books of Earthsea by Ursula K, LeGuin, in this beautiful hardback omnibus. I think in the United States you actually get also an illustrated sleeve. I don't care. I'm very happy with this one. It's nice and chunky. It's heavy. It's a heavy one. There's I don't know, thousands of pages in there. But the illustrations by Charles Vess is why I wanted this, because I think they're absolutely lovely. They're interspersed throughout the pages. There is an introduction as well, which I haven't yet read, but I will. And there are actually short stories in there set in the universe of Earthsea I've never read, so I'll probably also get around to reading them at some point. I'm not going to reread the entire Earthsea books through this one. This is more a collection item, but I might as well read the material I haven't. So I would definitely recommend this for any Ursula K. Le Guin fan, for any Earthsea fan. This is a beautiful hardback omnibus illustrated edition. It's absolutely lovely. Then I also got the 25th anniversary deluxe hardback of Dune. Oh my god, it is gorgeous! First of all, look at this blue. This is exactly as I would imagine spice blue to be. It goes with the lettering and everything. The lettering, and it's, you can't, oh yeah, you can kind of tell. It's shiny. cover is shiny, and it's a gorgeous cover. You want the little nerdy detail. I mean, any fan of Dune has already seen this 1,000 times. I'm going to show it anyway. There's, iron lettering is what they call it, I think. Fear is the Mind Killer, which is awesome. And the end papers are illustrated. And you also have 2 illustrations like on the, I don't know the vocabulary for like book parts. It's ridiculous. You think reading so much since I've been fairly little, I know the vocab, but I don't. Anyway, you got illustrations there. You don't have illustrations inside the book. You do have a really nice, clearly printed map at the end. I mean, it's the map you get in even the cheap paperbacks, but in my paperback anyway, the map was a bit faded. Here it's nice and, clearly printed and everything. I mean, again, this is a beautiful edition. It's worth the money, 1,000%. If you're a fan, there's no reason not to get this, honestly, to read, obviously, or to display on your collection shelf. I've reread his Dark Materials. I was a bit disappointed by my rereading experience. However, it still remains one of my favorite series from, childhood, tweenhood. It has a very, very special place in my heart. So I wanted something in my collection representing that. And so I have this. It's an illustrated version, coffee table book version, of Northern Lights, illustrated by, I've forgotten the name of the artist, let me check. Yes, Chris Woolmel, who does the covers for the Books of Dust and who redid also new editions of his Dark Materials. And funnily enough, same artist who did the cover artwork for City of Saints and Madmen and Shriek and Afterward and Venice Underground by Javanamir. Like totally different kinds of books, but loved his illustrations. This book is magnificent. The illustrations are amazing, interspersed throughout the book. You have also like a little picture at the beginning of each chapter. You have an alethiometer at the end of each part of Northern Lights. Beyond the fact that I wanted this for my collection, if I had been a kid or a very younger person and I got this, as a gift, my mind would have exploded. This would be a wonderful gift for any fan who's an adult as well. But imagine if you have kids, or you have kids in your life, not necessarily your own, and you read this with them, they'd love this. I mean, it's a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful book as an object. So again, this definitely has my stamp of approval. It's magnificent. Does it bother me a little bit that not all of the books in this new collection of mine are the same format? Yes. Does it bother me enough not to do this collection? No. And finally, the crown jewels, as I'm going to call them. I've invested in Folio Society editions. I don't really think I have to introduce Folio Society to bookworms at this point. They are a company known to make fancy deluxe editions of novels. They've been so for years and years and years. I don't know how old this company is, but it's pretty old, I'm pretty sure. There are Folio Society editions of books in my family library. I never paid them much attention because they're not books, I would read. But then they came back in my mind recently. I was like, well, have they done SFF literature? Went on their website, and lo and behold, yes, they do. They have a very nice selection of SFF literature. They have a very selection of books in general, everything. I was very happily surprised. And, oh my God, they got some gorgeous things, expensive things, and some which are more affordable. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still like 30, 40, 50 quid, even for a basic book by them, but to me, given the service I've had so far, the shipping, the packing, the quality of the books, it's a great price-quality ratio in my opinion. Like, no regrets whatsoever. I'm going to start with the one I'm just a bit disappointed in, but I'll explain why. So I got me a copy of the Silmarillion. Now, Folio Society books always come in a lovely slipcase. It's very sturdy, high quality. And look at this. Will you please just freaking look at this, how beautiful this is. The feel of it, I don't know how to describe this, but the feel, the weight of a book in your hands is very important. The feel of this is wonderful. Now, I am a tad bit disappointed in this one. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm still happy I bought it. I'm happy it's in my collection, but I love the artwork. It's ink. They're ink drawings, but they're only chapter headings. There are no full-page illustrations in this book. Given you can get for like 15 euros, a paperback version of the Silmarillion, illustrated by Ted Nasmith. I'm like, and you can get it in hardback as well, but for cheaper than this, obviously. So it's a bit disappointing, especially since I really do like the almost woodcutting aspect of these ink drawings. So imagine what it would have been like to have full-page illustrations in that style. It's a bit of a missed opportunity in my opinion. However, the cover is absolutely beautiful. And there is a fold-out map of Valerian, which, is the same map you'd get in the, trade paperback versions, but it's nice and clean. The regions are in red, so it's a lot clearer than in the paperbacks. All the annexes are there. It's the same content that you would get in just a regular market version of Silmarillion. Obviously, you have a forward, but you do get this illustration, which is nice. Definitely beautiful. Definitely happy I bought it. However, knowing that there aren't full-page illustrations, I'd be a lot more hesitant to actually invest in it. I bought the Silmarillion because it's my favorite work by Tolkien. I should probably specify that. It's my favorite Tolkien book, and I had to have something by Tolkien. I had to have that acknowledgement in my library, and I really love the Silmarillion. But yeah, just a tad bit disappointed, though overall, beautiful book. The other two I have, however, 10 out of 10. Just 10 out of 10. So imagine my glee, my joy at discovering that Folio Society publishes not one, not two, but 3 books by my dearest Ursula K. LeGuin. And what's more, publishes my favorite novel by Ursula K. Le Guin, and one of my favorite novels of all time, The Left Hand of Darkness. I was over the moon. So I got it, obviously. Now, I freaking love the fact that the slipcase has snow on it. You know what I mean. And look at this. This book is freaking beautiful. It's cloth bound, and look at that detail. The illustrations are I'll just show you one. It's the style. It's perfect for the book. I don't know how else to put it. It's perfect for the book. It's almost like an anthropologist's sketches, but it goes perfectly with the work of Le Guin and the kind of science fiction she wrote, and the science fiction she wrote in The Left Hand of Darkness. It's absolutely perfect. It's all in black and white, probably China ink wash, something like that. Very sparse and stark, but it's perfect for The Left Hand of Darkness because it's on a planet that's freezing cold all the time. And for the themes of that book, I don't know, it's a beautiful, beautiful edition. If you're an Ursula K. Le Guin fan, if you're even a classic science fiction fan, treat yourself to this. It's one of the cheaper ones too on Folio Society. Actually, this one I think was £35. So I don't know, that's what, $45, 40 euros. I'm not a converter, so but around those amounts. It's really gorgeous. And once again, the feel of it, perfect. And just this week, I treated myself with Folio Society's version of, again, The Handmaid's Tale. So I now have 3 editions of The Handmaid's Tale. My original one, which I treasure because sentimental value, which I read, it's a paperback version. My nice-looking vintage hardback edition, and now the Folio Society edition. Again, absolutely gorgeous. First of all, can we appreciate this red slipcase? Thank you very much. And then the art style, not quite white, beige grey, red and black. Love that color combination. I freaking adore the fact that this is red and this is black. Minor detail, but I'm a detail freak. And the illustrations, there aren't that many of them, but each one of them counts. The style, I don't know what the name of the style is, but very reminiscent of like communist USSR and Nazi Germany, which is exactly what you want for The Handmaid's Tale because it's a dictatorship. It oozes dictatorshipism and shows the horribleness of Gilead, even goes further than TV series in depicting the costumes. It's a lot more accurate, actually. I love that. The accuracy towards the original texts. I could just show you one which really, really struck me. This is absolutely bloody gorgeous and is perfect for the story. Describes perfectly a very specific scene in the novel, and it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So happy I got this one as well. Which brings me to the end of this relatively pointless video, but like I said, I wanted to revel in my new collection with you, and also, I guess, review said editions. I would basically recommend everything I've shown you, except perhaps like the very first one, the Lolita. That's really a me thing, and It's a second-hand copy too. It was like limited run by a small printing press. I got it off eBay, I think. I really want a proper special edition of Lolita, but I'll have to settle for what I showed you for now. But otherwise, everything else, like even the cheap hardback copy of The Handmaid's Tale, is a really nice looking hardback, edition. Well, no illustrations, nothing like that. If you want illustrations and, a bit more specialness, definitely go for this Folio Society one. I definitely have my eye on other Folio Society editions. I also have my eye on the illustrated hardbacks of Song of Ice and Fire, like, duh, obviously. But I have to put some money away first. Or, wait around for my next birthday. Things like that. I'm not really aware of other companies that do, special editions for SFF in any case. I'm sure there are some, but I knew of Folio Society. I, looked at their catalog, found very good things, and was very, very happy with their service. I will say that. I'm very happy with the other ones I have too. So yeah, my collection is not gonna be, endless. I have a very specific set of books I'd like to have in it, and some of the books I'd like to have don't even exist. So sadly, things like The Mists of Avalon or something by Annis Nin, I wouldn't even find anything to put in my collection. So hope you enjoyed this little revel of mine. Made your wallets weep a little bit. And yeah, that's that for this video. Have anything fancy that you think I'd like? I'm always open to taking a look. Probably then curse myself for not having enough money, but that's the life of a bookworm, am I right? I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all have a lovely day, evening, or whichever time of day you prefer as usual. Next video will be either a review for the Pax duology, so Semiosis, Interference by Sue Burke, or my April reading wrap-up, or another dual book review, but they'll basically be done around the same time. But in the meantime, I bid you adieu, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.